Hi guys, Darth Deuces here, back in the Star Wars The Black Series action figure review. Today, taking a look at a figure that I have, again, a lot earlier than I was expecting to. Hasbro is pumping out the Black Series releases lately, which is good and bad. On the one hand, it's always nice to get stuff early, but on the other hand, it's always kind of annoying when it comes to like budgeting your money for planning for when things are releasing, only for them to release a lot earlier than you were expecting to is kind of annoying sometimes, to be honest. Um, but anyways, regardless, I have Shaak T here, which was one I was definitely looking forward to because I do not own a Shaak T figure. Funnily enough, I don't have any of the old 3 3/4 inch releases of her. And I think this is the first figure of Shaak T that Hasbro has made in like 15 years, or pretty close. Like, that's crazy. Decently iconic prequel Jedi. I don't think she's gotten a figure since the Clone Wars line, a Shaak Ti figure. I could be wrong, but I think that's the last figure we got of her. So that's kind of crazy. She's been long overdue for a new figure. It'd be really nice to get a new vintage collection figure of her. Hopefully they do that. But for now, we have the Black Series one, and I'm really happy with this figure. It's really nice. A lot of new parts, a little bit of reuse, but the reuse that's done, it doesn't bother me. But taking a closer look at the head sculpt, I think they did a really good job here. The paint and face printing on the face, I think, looks really nice and accurate. The eyes look really good. You've got the white around the eyes. I think she's the first Togruta that's not an Ahsoka figure in the line as well, which is cool. But you've got the very large, I don't know if these are called head tendrils. The little ornate stuff, gold she's wearing around her forehead there, which is cool. All the markings on these bits are really nice. The tendrils are actually made of a really pliable, soft plastic. They still hinder articulation, but not as much as like previous Ahsoka figures have. They move out of the way pretty good, so that's cool. In the back here, you got a continuation of that little gold jewelry stuff she's wearing, and then the back part of the tendril here, which is very nicely painted and sculpted. Again, decently pliable. Looks really nice, though. I'm pretty pleased with this. I would say pretty much looks just like she does in the movie. I mean, not in it very prominently, but yeah, it looks pretty good. The rest of the figure, she utilizes quite a bit of soft goods, actually. You have a soft goods robe. There's a hood here that's just kind of um, sewed down because there's no way she'd be able to actually wear the hood properly. But it is still kind of there as a detail, which is nice. The soft goods robe, it's made of a decently nice material like most of the other Jedi robes are. The sleeves actually have kind of this longer opening to them, which is kind of interesting and a bit different for some Jedi robes, which is cool. You can remove it if you want to, but she just has like a brown shirt on underneath, and I've never ever seen her without it on when she looks like this, so I don't see any reason to remove it, but you can if you want to, but I'm not going to bother. It's just like a pretty basic brown shirt torso with a bit of the flesh tone showing underneath. The red of the flesh on the torso doesn't quite match the red tone of the hands and the head. However, it's covered up by a lot of clothes and her front head tendrils, so it's not super noticeable. She does have this like scarf piece almost that she wears around her neck that's glued in the back of her neck there, and it's made of a very pliable plastic, so it's not going to warp or get out of the way, and it's going to get out of the way for the articulation, which is really nice. Then she does have a pretty simple belt. There's a hole for a lightsaber hilt, and then this really kind of ornate looking front piece that is made of, again, a softer plastic, but has a lot of nice sculpted and painted detail there, which looks great. And then the lower part of the robe is this lighter reddish brownish color, made of a more rougher sort of material, similar to like the Tusken Raider robes, I guess, if you know what I mean, in terms of the texture of this soft goods. But I like how it contrasts from the more smoothness of the Jedi robe, and it's quite long in the back. It goes a lot farther than her legs do. I assume it's supposed to like trail behind her. I believe, like in the Clone Wars and maybe even in the movie, it's kind of noticeable that her skirt and her robes kind of are long and trail behind her. It's fraying a little bit at the edges, so I guess maybe you want to be a little careful of that, but not a big deal. The major part of reuse on the figure, though, is the legs. The legs up to the boots are reuse of like the Ayla Secura or Sing legs because they got that double hinge knee there, which doesn't bother me. I think that's fine, but you know, worth mentioning. And then I could be wrong. I think the boots are new. She's got like these black combat boots. I think it's kind of funny for a Jedi character. But I don't recall seeing these on another figure. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're reuse, but I don't recall them on another figure. But if you know, if they are on another figure, let me know. But they're nice. Just black, no paint, but does the job. And to be honest, they're pretty much always covered by the soft goods anyways, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I really like the look of this figure. Definitely a unique and standout among the different Jedi that we've gotten, and luckily have gotten quite a bit of the prequel Jedi now. This year we're also getting Luminara and Dully. For some reason, GameStop Canada released Sebulba and this figure, but Luminara still is slated to not come out till July, and then I've gotten also Gideon and the Praetorian Guards, which I have reviews of on my channel if you're interested. But I've gotten those, but I still haven't gotten my Commando Droid pre-order, and I'm pretty sure the Commando Droid was supposed to come out before all of those. And the rest of the wave that one comes from, I've gotten, but I still haven't gotten the Commando Droid from them. It's so weird. The releases just don't really make any sense to me. But anyways, yeah, being back to this figure, I really like how it looks. The soft goods work well. The plastic pieces are nice. And yeah, just a pretty striking figure among the other Jedi and just other figures on the shelf, because she's quite colorful and unique looking. Articulation wise, you have a ball joint at the base of the head as well as the base of the neck. Looks down just a bit, looks up a little bit. You actually get pretty good rotation because those tendrils do get in the way pretty well, and a little bit of pivot, not much there. There is hinges at the shoulders, rotation. There's also decent butterfly joints there as well, which is cool. They move in, arms move in an okay amount. Single hinges at the elbows that I do kind of wish went a little deeper, but they do go past 90 and they rotate. Then you have swivels at the wrists, and both wrists have up and down hinges, which is nice for lightsaber posing. There's a joint at the waist, goes back a bit, crunches forward a little bit, pivots a bit, and then rotation is the main articulation you get there. Then you have your hip joints that kick out, split out about that far. The soft goods don't hinder because there's a lot of extra slack there. They go forward. There's a swivel cut thigh, double hinge knee, so they can go really far. And then there's actually a boot cut, which is really nice. Then a hinge at the ankle that doesn't go up very far, goes down though quite a bit. And then you do get a rocker for pivot. So pretty good articulation. You can get a lot of great Jedi poses with her. So that is obviously the most important thing for a Jedi character, to get dynamic martial poses. So that's good. In terms of accessories, doesn't come with much. You do have the soft goods robe if you want to count that. She also, of course, has to come with her lightsaber. Nice blue blade. Nicely painted silver hilt with a little bit of gold on the end there. I think pretty much, unless a figure character's lightsaber isn't overly silver, every lightsaber wielding character should have silver paint on their hilts. But this looks really nice. It's very similar to the sculpt of a hilt that the General Grievous figure came with from years ago now. But I do believe this is a new sculpt because it has a more prominent peg for pegging on her belt, and the Grievous one doesn't have that. So I think this is a new sculpt, but I also wouldn't be surprised if this is reused, so I could be wrong. But it looks nice, looks good. She holds it well. Pretty good grip. Looks pretty good. I like it. And it is pretty easy to get her in a two-handed lightsaber pose that looks fairly natural, which I like as well. It's always good when Jedi can do that. With the wrist articulation and the shoulder butterflies and all that, you can get a pretty good two-handed pose. So that's excuse me, that's really nice. And like I said, there's a peg on the hilt, so you can remove the blade, and then you can just peg that onto her belt if you wish. Pegs on fairly securely, and you can't really see it because it gets covered by all the stuff, but it is pegged on there. It looks pretty good if you want to have it just stored on her belt there. But yeah, pretty nice. But of course, because you don't get any other accessories, she is going to be for me, displayed with the lightsaber. Like every Jedi release, it'd be nice if they get at least an interchangeable set of open palm hands for, force and dynamic action poses instead of just the gripping hands. I'm always gonna kind of advocate for that. Whether we ever actually get that, I don't know, but that's the only thing I can really think of that would have been nice to include. Otherwise, she comes with what she needs to come with. But for comparison, like I said, I don't actually have another Shaak T figure to compare with in terms of 3¼ inch. But just with a few of her other Jedi compatriots from the prequels, here she is with Aayla Secura, another female alien who she shares legs with. They look pretty good, very colorful. Here she is with Kit Fisto. They look good. And then put Kit Fisto back there for a sec. Here she is with a more recent release. Here is Ki-Adi-Mundi, which is probably one of my favorites of the ones they've done. And I have other ones, but I didn't want to pull them all off the shelf. But this gives you a good idea. But yeah, really like how these all look together. Honestly, Shaak T is probably one of my favorites. She's just super unique and colorful for the shelf. As cool as Ki-Adi-Mundi is, he's a lot of browns and tans and is mostly human looking besides the big head. But Shaak T here definitely adds some color and some spice to the shelf. And I think is really well executed. So overall, I'm really happy with this release. I'm looking forward to getting Luminara, seeing what she's like as well. I'm assuming she'll be pretty solid as well. But if you are collecting Black Series and you are collecting Jedi, I would highly recommend picking this one up. Definitely a really solid release from the Black Series team here. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. May the Force be with you.